on, you guys? So today is episode 4 of 170 to Bikini, and today what we're going to do is we're going to go over before and after her progress for the month. So we have our results from a month ago, from today, and we're going to see what she's been increased or decreased or whatever it may be.
We're going to go through body fat percentage, my weight measurements, and my lean
body mass and inches
mass
from her body. Yeah,
so we're going to go through that all with you guys right now. He has the one that I did a month ago. I have the one that I did today. And like he said,
how this relates to you is you may be thinking, okay, so why do I care? This is important to learn because when you're going through the same thing, you're going to be wondering, okay, why did my weight go up, but my numbers went down, or vice versa? So it's important that you can learn a lot from this and see how to interpret the numbers properly. Because a lot of people interpret the numbers wrong and they get demotivated or whatever the case may be. So this is why we're going to go over it and show you exactly what these numbers mean.
So just to start this off really fast, as you guys know, I've been on prep for about a month, and in the first episode I kind of told you guys that I had gone up in weight about 4 pounds, and I was super discouraged the entire time. I was telling Christian, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've been, following my protocols. Why is my weight going up? And I was so frustrated, and at that point it gets unmotivating, even though I know in the back of my head that it could be a variety of different factors and it's not fat per se. So confirmation is something that we need as humans, and this was definitely my confirmation today that I was doing everything correct. So let's go through that. We're gonna pop it up on the screen right here so you guys can see.
Yeah, so last month she started at 25.23% body fat. Her total weight was around 130 pounds. Her fat mass was 32 pounds and her lean body mass was 97 pounds. So now what she's at is...
I'm 21.3% body fat, which is how many pounds, or how many...
4.20%.
Down in 1 month.
In 1 month, that's great.
My weight is up by about 0.2, so I'm 130.2 now.
So wait a second. You lost fat, but you gained weight. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, that's an important factor. My fat mass is at 27.7 pounds, which is exactly, 5 pounds down?
Yep.
5 pounds down in fat mass. And my lean mass went up 5 pounds. So now I'm at a lean mass of 102.3. So you're probably looking at this and you're like, this doesn't make sense to me. Why is your weight going up, but the rest of your numbers are going down? So Christian's gonna go ahead and talk about that really fast.
Yeah, so the point of looking good, like people say, oh, I like the cardio bunnies who go on the treadmill and just run all day long. I'm like, well, why am I losing weight? And they drop their calories. You guys heard me talk about this before, is your body's a furnace. So whatever you're gonna put in, you're gonna burn. And if you burn it efficiently, your body's gonna grow and use it to build muscle. So if you're saying you wanna look good, you want an ass, you want whatever you want, the goal is to lift weights. Why? Because now you're burning energy through what they call anaerobic metabolism, and you're giving a stimulus to a muscle to grow. So if you want your glutes to grow and you just do cardio, your muscle's gonna atrophy. It's gonna eat the muscle.
Yeah, you're burning your muscle when you do that.
Exactly. So
especially if you're at a caloric deficit.
Did you do cardio a lot this month?
I didn't. I barely did any cardio this month, which is the first time in the 1.5 years that I've been training and that I've started this whole fitness journey that I haven't done cardio. When I first met Christian, I was doing an hour of cardio a day. And he was the one who told me, it was like, you need to get off that ish right now, girl, because if you want to put on muscle and look full, that's not what you want to do. And
I based that off of a lot of this guy called Stan Efferdine. His whole thing was no cardio, 10 minutes to 2 times a day, 10 minutes a day. And his whole thing was letting your diet work for you, which is what she did. So she's been training less than she ever has, and she's getting better results than she ever has.
Yep.
What's been on point is her diet.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing here is your diet and the lack of cardio. So you guys got to think about that when you look at the numbers, like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Well, if you guys are lifting weights, then absolutely lift weights, a lot of compound movements. But if you guys aren't, let's see what's happening with your numbers and see if you're progressing or degressing, and you tweak that.
Another thing I wanted to point out too is this month I actually raised my calories by about 600, which you're probably again thinking like, why, what, how does that make sense? So I used to have like very low carbs. Now I went up to 235 grams of carbs, 125 grams of protein, and I think 50 grams of fat. So those are my macros for this month, and they've changed a little bit, so my fat will go down 5 grams, just playing with it a little bit. But I'm eating more food than I ever have and working out less. So he's gonna explain that to you guys right now as well.
Yeah, so the main thing working here is, so she's working out less. What does that mean? How does that help you? First of all, her workouts are really intense, but the main factor when you work out less is it decreases a hormone called myostatin. And myostatin actually stops your muscle from growing. So if your myostatin is elevated, your body tells you to shut down mTOR production, or muscle tissue, to stop doing it. It actually ramps up AMPK, which causes lipolysis and gluconeogenesis, which means the breakdown of fats and proteins. So with that being said, what she did was she kept her levels in check. So she ramped up AMPK. So when you're in an extreme caloric deficit, your AMPK starts to decrease. Why? Because your body's saying, I can't handle this amount of hypocaloricism, or lack of calories, that I'm gonna actually increase my body fat percentage. That's what a lot of people do, is when they decrease their calories, they gain weight. And that's the mechanism behind it. But what she also did, she was called her myostatin. So she kept her myostatin low, and her AMPK, that's the one you mess with your calories. And that's how she was able to lose all this weight. She didn't do it through cardio, because remember, cardio burns muscle, first of all. It decreases your BMR, because you have less muscle, which means your basal metabolic rate. So if she was to sit down, not doing anything, she's burning less calories than she would if she was doing a workout for 30 minutes rather than cardio. So those are the two things that you got to keep in mind when you think about losing weight and doing it the right way, because you want to be in the gym the least amount of time to get the maximum amount of results. And this is how she did it.
Yeah. Having efficient
That's what a lot of people
workouts.
don't tell you. A lot of people say, okay, do 40 minutes of cardio, you know,
And then an hour and a half workout.
8 times a week, and an hour and a half workout. All you're doing is increase your myostatin, and a lot of other things, right? Your cortisol goes up, growth hormone goes down, insulin starts to spike a lot, because your body just can't maintain that level of intensity unless you're enhanced. But that's how she did it, is she just real quick, intense workouts, keeping the cardio low, and a clean diet. And a clean diet, I mean, talk about your diet.
So I've been keeping pretty much the same foods, which I'm fortunate enough, and I've trained my body to not really get sick of certain foods, which again, that takes time. But I haven't had any cheat meals except for today. Today was my first cheat meal, which was awesome. But I haven't had any cheat meals. I've been sticking to my macros. I hit my macros every day. I log it down so that I'm keeping myself accountable. As far as food I'm eating, egg whites, eggs, turkey, chicken, potatoes, carrots, spinach.
Talk about your carbs.
My carbs, I will have, well, I do have potatoes in the morning, like cut up and on the stove. And then I'll have oats later in the day. I'll have Kodiak cakes, which is a great, I mean, it's not the best thing to have, but right now, because I'm early in prep, I'm allowed to have a little bit of those kinds of things, but it helps curb my
refined sugars and sugar alcohols.
Yeah, it helps curb my sweet cravings. What else do I have? I have
So daily, how many grams?
235 grams of carbs.
Okay.
This month.
So that's a great example. Is like, she's up about 1,000 grams of calories of carbs, which is, she's 235 pounds. 130 pounds, but she's eating almost double the body weight that she is, and she's losing weight, which is great, because what you're doing is you're training your body to get rid of carbohydrates. One thing I don't like about keto, it's muscle sparing. There's great stuff about it, but it also inhibits something like called pyruvate dehydrogenase, which stops the activation of oxidative phosphorylation, or the burning of glucose. So if you can control that, which is what she's doing by losing weight and eating carbs, you're in a great position to go into keto and actually lose, 10 to 15 more pounds. So that's just something to keep in mind. That's a little advanced, but notice the main point here, she's eating carbohydrates. She's not doing cardio. and she's lifting weights only about 5 times a week, and she's losing weight.
I'm actually lifting weights only 4 times a week.
Even better. So that tells you a little something like, okay, what is the norm, and what is the difference? How is she doing this?
Yeah.
And that's how. That's the key.
This is also the most that I've ever rested in the entire time that I've been on my fitness journey per se. I used to, like he said, work out 7 days a week, take no rest days, and now I have 3 rest days. And even on the days that I work out, I go home, I eat, and I rest, and I let my muscles recover. So those are the main things. We're gonna go over a few more things. So on this one, you guys can see on the screen right here the before and after. My body fat percentage before was in the ideal range, so you can see it's in the green. And today mine is, it's right in the beginning of the blue, which is considered lean. So that's really good. Obviously, when you compete, how low do you need your body fat percentage to be? Like a range.
As low as you go before you die?
Yeah.
Like 3%, 4% if you can get there.
So how much were you on your last show?
I was 4%.
It was 4%. So,
and at 4%, your heels start hurting. There's little fat deposits in your heel, and you can feel yourself. I had to wear my Air Maxes because you hurt. So that's dangerously low.
I don't know if I'm gonna get that low since it's my first show. Obviously, the goal is to get as low as possible. But for female athletes, I think it's a little bit higher. Like you can have a little bit higher of a body fat percentage.
Yeah.
About like, I think it's like what, 8 to 12?
Yeah.
Around there.
For bikini.
Yeah. So right now I'm at 21%. So that's a good, starting number for the first month in. Now let's talk about basal metabolic rate. So you want to explain what basal metabolic rate is?
Yeah. Basal means baseline. Okay. So or beginning. So the beginning metabolic rate. Your metabolic rate is how many calories you burn per day. Her beginning was 1317, and it actually went at 1 calorie. But notice so this is what I was talking about, is that as her body weight goes up, her BMR goes up, basal metabolic rate, and that means you can eat more
and
burn it. Why? Important question is why, and the answer is usually, there's a lot of factors involved, but it's called mitochondrial adaptation. The more you do, the more your body's stressed, the more mitochondria. The mitochondria is the only organelle that can actually have its own DNA to replicate. And it does it very efficiently because that's how our body's designed, is to, if you need more fuel, your body produces more fuel to burn. That's why you see all these guys or girls who are lean and they kind of stay lean, eating all this stuff, is because they have a lot of mitochondria to support that amount of calorie. And as you gain muscle, not lose muscle, or lose weight, as you see your weight go down, that actually decreases. If it's not muscle. So if you're losing muscle, then your body decreases because that's predominantly where mitochondria is, because that's where the stimulus goes and the ATP needs to happen. So it's important to note that it's kind of weird that it only went up 1 calorie, but it should go up way more. And she's eating above that. How many calories are you eating a day?
Like anywhere from 2,000 to 2,300.
Yeah.
Depending on like what I can get in that day.
Yeah, so that's due to her like working out, because it's going to increase. This is just you sitting down doing nothing all day long.
Yeah.
So it's just important to see that and understand it, because the numbers can be deceiving, because you can look at it as, oh, I only need to eat 17 calories a day, but that's you not doing anything. You getting up and drinking some water burns a calorie.
Yeah, that's literally, your basal metabolic rate is what you burn if you're laying in bed all day and you don't move. So if you ever, do one of these scans and you see that this is what your basal metabolic rate is, that's not the amount of calories that you need to be eating. Typically, you need to eat about like 500 more calories than your basal metabolic rate.
Yeah, there's an equation. I forget what it's called, but there's like an equation but yeah, that's what I always say. If you're trying to gain weight, 500 pounds. If you're trying to lose weight,
500 pounds.
Sorry, you add 1,000, you drop 500 if you want to lose weight. That's obviously not proven scientifically, but that's what I do. And
it works.
And it works, or you can find stuff online. But that's the idea behind this. Yeah. And once you know that, it's easy to figure out what your BMR is.
Yeah. So let's go over the measurements really fast. This is the last part. So before, my neck which is a weird thing to measure, but it was at 14 and now it's at 14 and a half, which is kind of weird. Like, why is my neck getting thicker?
Those traps.
Yeah. My bust area, I think it stayed the same. Oh no, it went down. So
I don't even know what a bust is.
It's
Oh.
it was 35.5 and now it's 35.2, so it's going down.
Your waist at 28.1?
29.1, and it actually went up by 0.2, so now it's at 29.3.
I was trying to help you out there.
No, which is weird, but I think it's because I've been working out abs.
Yeah?
So I've been hitting abs every day, which if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I never hit abs before, like now. So I think that's why, because obviously when you put on muscle, the area
But remember,
grows.
when your shoulders get wider, your waist
gets
snatch
smaller.
gets just by comparison, perspective.
So my hips, what was the number?
37.
And now it's 37.2. So the hips got a little bit wider, muscle.
Yeah.
What are they called? Abductors?
Yeah, or you just hit puberty.
What? Left bicep.
Oh, left bicep, 11.
Now it's 11.6.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Throwing those arms.
Right bicep.
10.7.
11.3.
Good.
Left forearm.
Left forearm, 90.3.
9.8. Right forearm.
8.9.
9. That's
Okay,
weird.
symmetrical.
That's weird that they're so off. So my left arm is bigger than my right arm.
That's pretty cool.
Left thigh.
22.4.
23.3.
22.7, right thigh.
22.7. 23.3. So my thighs are even. My left calf.
13.9.
It actually went down on this one. It's 13.7, and my right calf is 13.5, which I can feel like when you lose fat off your body, your skin will get thinner. And I know that's a really weird concept to like think if you've never actually like experienced it yourself, but I can feel on my calves that my skin is thinner, and I don't have the biggest calves because I'm very quad dominant and I don't work out calves, which I need to. But I think that's why my calves went down. So I hope this helped you guys kind of put things into perspective about your weight going up, even though you're working out and you're doing all the right things. Don't let that be an excuse if you're like eating, you know, junk food every other day, then obviously you're doing something wrong. But if you're putting in the work every day and you know you're giving it your 100% in the gym and in the kitchen when you're eating and your weight is going up, don't worry. Chances are you're probably putting on muscle.
And it could be just be a cycle. Like your body needs to be in a deficit to be able to gain. Same thing. Your body needs to be in a gain in high calories, or you're eating a lot to lose weight. So you can't lose weight consistently for like 4 or 5 years. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Your bodies are cycles. It's a wave. So you got to ride it, and you got to. Once you understand how your body works, your own body, and know the waves, then you can kind of tailor your diet and your training to that to optimize it.
Yeah, and that's what we've done this past month is we've kind of dialed everything in for the starting point, and obviously because it's my first time competing, you have to go through a little bit of trials and tribulations until you are able to dial it in, and we got lucky and we actually dialed it in pretty well with the workouts and the diet.
It took me 3 shows to figure out my body.
Yeah. So obviously I'm able to have his experience from his, you know, his first shows to help me with that, which I'm really fortunate for. And the last thing I want to say is my macros that I gave you guys are not your macros. So unless you're doing the exact same routine, you have the exact same body fat percentage and, you know, stats that I have.
Genes, all your genes are the same?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend using my macros because that's what works for my body and what fits in with what I'm doing. So you got to figure out your own macros. All right, you guys, let's hit that workout. Shoulder workout. Shoulders and back, or rear delts and back.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
All right, guys. So this is back attack. We're gonna start off with a straight bar row. She's just holding it. She's rowing all the way to her belly button. Go. So we're just getting the blood pumping. I'm actually going to show you a little variation of this to get a little more stretch and to hit the muscle at a different angle. But right now we're just doing this, and we're going to superset with a lat pull down. Yeah, let's get to it. All right, so now we're gonna do a pull down. Go down. So she's pulling her back down. She's pinching her back. So the middle of her back, she's pinching her elbows this way and down to this point, to this line. Okay, come up. So what she's gonna do, she's gonna 3 full and then 3 partial to my hand. 1, 2. So what that does is it works more proximal to the lat, so the upper part of the lat. They go down. And it actually works a lot of things. A lot of people don't work that spot right in here, where your teres minor is. Really make sure your back pop and wide.
Right in front of the bench that's attached to the row machine, and the reason why he's doing this is to be able to stretch. See how he's stretching, getting a nice stretch and contracting back. So this is a different variation. It hits your muscle a little bit differently and allows you to get a better stretch on the way out. So you can see how much more he's stretching.
Alright guys, so next workout we're going to do is a lat row. We're going to put a little extra on, okay? So what you guys are going to do, you guys are going to step wide. Okay, you're going to pull right up to your rib cage. Okay? Pull, make sure you get into that lat, bringing it up high. You're going to do 8 reps. Do a weight that's 8 reps is really kind of tough for you. Then here's a little trick. So what you're going to do is you're going to twist this out. Your false grip in it. Okay, you're coming out and you're twisting. What this does is this gets lower into your lat. So a lot of times you'll get here, but this part right here, the insertion never gets touched. That's what we're doing with this. You're coming all the way, twisting all the way out and pulling all the way back. Yep. That's right. Alright, the other secret for you guys is, so bend down more, legs wider, good. So as you come up, go ahead. So she's close to her body, right? You guys push it out a little more, the weight gets double as heavy.
Yeah, it does.
So you're getting a lot more into the lat. Okay, go ahead. So bring them out, yeah. Bring it out harder. Boom. Good. Yep.
Am I twisting it when I'm coming out?
You're twisting it, yeah. So guys, as you put that out just an inch, your leverage decreases by 10-fold and the weight becomes, you know, as double as heavy, and it's going to activate the lat in a different way. So you're going to get a lot of girth out of it. That's a little of the secret you guys can use. Alright guys, so last thing we're doing those two. We did a superset, we done rows, and now we're going to do a tricep. So what that means is we're going to triple set something. We're going to do reverse grip, okay, so you're going to hold it supinated. It's going to get into the lower lat. We're going to do overhead, and then we're going to do pull-ups to end it. Okay, so you guys got 3 sets, 15 reps of each thing. Okay, so I'll show you. So you notice I didn't extend all the way. We already did those with those dumbbells. So we extended, we stretched it, got the blood in there. Now what we're doing is I see little pulses. So when you bend this elbow, you're letting the back relax. If you stay here, you keep it on the back the whole time, so now you get constant stimulus throughout the set. So that's why I kind of pause repped it in between. So just so you guys know that. All right, next thing, pull-ups. I'm doing unassisted. You guys probably have an assisted, or you can self-assist yourself. Just put it low to the ground and use your feet. Something I wanted to say is, as you're coming up, pull your elbows back towards the wall. Okay, so if you think about it here, push the elbows back this way. And never think about yourself pulling yourself up. Think about pulling the machine down. So it's a little different way of thinking about it, but it's going to activate your lat a lot more than if you were to just think about pulling yourself up. what she's doing here is go down. So you want a good stretch in the lat, but come up. Now she's only coming up partially. She's not coming up here because it's taking complete tension off the lat. Okay, so she's right here. She's gonna tension on the lat, go down. Stretch, pause. Use those joints, not use those hips. Boom, yeah. So she's moving up. Keep it here. There we go.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Hold on. I need a lighter weight. Those are hard, you guys. Holy crap. Thank you.
Okay. Another thing is for her hips. So as she goes down, go down, her hips are pushing down. Push down through your hips. Good. That's going to strengthen your core actually. It's going to tighten your waist up. And then she's pushing her hips up. So that's a little secret when you do them. It's actually, because you're working your lats, but actually you're tightening your waist down here. So it's going to give you that V. Okay, go down, all the way down, push down. Now as you come up, boom, good. Hit your anterior serrates too, which is good. Good one overall. Make sure to keep it in that range though.
That's a really hard movement. I've never done that one before.
So there you have it. That's your back attack video. Go ahead and try it. Let us know how you like it. And you really use those tips that I showed you to optimize your workout.
Yeah, that was a really hard workout even for me.
Yeah.
There was a lot of different angles that he put on like what you would see like in a normal workout that made it like 10 times harder. So definitely take those tips, use them to your advantage because you're probably not going to find them many other places. We'll leave all the reps down below in the names of the exercises in the description box. That way you guys, in case you forgot what the workout was, you guys can look down there. Really quick, just to explain why this workout is beneficial to Christian, even though he has a different goal than I do, and it's beneficial for me. We're gonna get into that really fast.
Yeah, so my big thing is blood flow. So obviously putting yourself through different angles is gonna make blood flow to the muscle. If you put your muscle in a position that you've never been, blood flow is gonna go to the parts of the muscle that it's never been before. Mm-hmm. That's just sense. So it works for anybody because what you're doing is, it doesn't matter the weight. She's doing a lot less weight than I am, but we're still controlling the muscle. That's the thing, is the muscle that has to be controlled. It's not the amount of weight, it's how you do the rep. So that's why it works for anybody. And it's intense, so it's gonna burn body fat, but it's not too heavy, or you can tailor it to your weight. It's not like a powerlifting workout where you're repping three reps max and you're done. This is for to get form to the muscle. Mm-hmm. That's why for girls and guys, it's gonna work.
Yeah, and like the last month that we've been training and he's been helping me train, that's been our big thing that we changed, is getting the blood flow into the muscle. And obviously, as you guys can see from the beginning of this video when we went through my current stats, it's working. So it's benefiting both of us, even though we have two different goals.
Yep. So if you guys like this video, subscribe, like, comment,
and share.
And let us know how it goes.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Yep.